No hacker should be able to shut down our networks, steal our trade secrets, or invade the privacy of American families. There's only one way to defend America from these cyber threats. No, I'm not going to be scrambling jets to get a 29-year-old hacker.
Mastermind is in Atlanta to face justice for stealing millions of dollars and infecting millions of computers. Investigators captured the accused hacker in Thailand. They brought him to Atlanta, where they say a local server controlled the hacked computers.
January 7th, 2013. Suvarnabhumi Airport, Bangkok. The humidity is stifling. The air conditioning hums, masking the sound of footsteps. A young man, 24 years old, wearing a casual t-shirt and a baseball cap, walks through the terminal. He looks like any other tourist on a layover. He is relaxed. He is happy. He is thinking about his wife and daughter waiting for him in Egypt. Suddenly, the crowd parts. A wall of uniforms surrounds him. Thai immigration police, American FBI agents. The handcuffs click shut. The metal is cold against his wrists. In this moment, most men would crumble. Most men would scream, cry, or beg. Most men would see their entire life flashing before their eyes. The prison cells, the iron bars, the end of freedom. But Hamza Bendelladj does not cry. He does not tremble. He turns to the cameras and he smiles. It wasn't a nervous grin. It was a beaming, radiant smile. The smile of a man who knows a secret. The smile of a man who had already won. Why was he smiling? Because according to the legend that would soon set the internet on fire, this man wasn't just a criminal. To millions of people around the world, he was a savior. The headlines screamed the numbers. $280 million. Stolen from the biggest banks in the West. Stolen from the billionaires. Stolen from the corrupt financial systems of America and Europe. And where did that money go? The rumors spread like wildfire. They said he didn't keep it. They said he gave it away to Palestinian charities, to starving families in Algeria. They called him the modern Robin Hood. But the FBI called him something else, BX1. One of the most dangerous, prolific, and brilliant cybercriminals in history. A man who turned a laptop into a weapon of mass financial destruction. Today, we are going deep into the code. We are tracking the money. We are going to find out how one kid from Algeria built a digital empire that brought the global banking system to its knees. Was he a saint who hacked for the poor? Or was he a digital kingpin laughing at the world? This is the story of the smiling hacker. To understand the robbery, you have to understand the weapon. Hamza Bendelladj didn't use a gun. He didn't use a mask. He didn't need a getaway car. His weapon was far more terrifying because it was invisible. It was a piece of code, a ghost in the machine. It was called SpyEye. In the late 2000s, the internet was a wild west. Online banking was exploding. but security was primitive. If you were a hacker, you had to be a genius. It was manual labor. Enter SpyEye. SpyEye wasn't just a virus. It was a toolkit. It was the Swiss Army knife of cybercrime. Developed by a mysterious Russian coder known as Gribbo Demon and marketed by our protagonist Hamza, SpyEye changed the game forever. Imagine a piece of software that you could install on a computer without the owner ever knowing. It buries itself deep in the operating system. It waits. It sleeps until you open your browser. Let's say you are a wealthy businessman in New York. You open Chrome. You type in your bank's website. It looks exactly like the real thing. You type your username. You type your password. You hit enter. In that split second, SpyEye wakes up. It doesn't just record your keystrokes. It performs a web inject. It actually modifies the web page live in your browser. You think you are talking to the bank, but you are talking to Hamza. And here is the genius part, the part that made SpyEye worth millions. It had a feature called Data Grabber. It could automatically sweep your account balance. It could initiate a transfer of funds, $5,000, $50,000, to a mule account in a different country. And while it was draining your life savings, it would show you a fake balance on your screen. You go to sleep happy. Meanwhile, your money is traveling at the speed of light, finally, into the pockets of the smiling hacker. Hamza wasn't just a user of this software. He was a merchant of death. He operated on a dark web forum called Dark Code. This was the VIP lounge of cybercrime. You had to be invited. You had to be vetted. Hamza, known as BX1, was a celebrity there. He didn't just sell the software. He sold the service. He sold the dream. He would post on the forums, selling huge amounts of credit cards, banking logins, botnets. A botnet is an army of enslaved computers. Hamza didn't just infect one computer, he infected millions. He had a dashboard on his screen, a map of the world. Every time a dot turned red, that was a new victim. At the height of his power, Hamza Bendelladj allegedly controlled over 200,000 infected computers in the United States alone. The FBI estimates that SpyEye financial damages globally $1 billion. Let that number sink in. This wasn't a bank robbery. This was a financial plague.
Mastermind is in Atlanta to face justice for stealing millions of dollars and infecting millions of computers. Investigators captured the accused hacker in Thailand. They brought him to Atlanta, where they say a local server controlled the hacked computers.
Seems like somebody posted to a Facebook page under Hamza Bendelladj's name an overseas clip of him.
This is where the story splits. This is where the man becomes the myth. On the internet, a narrative began to form. Hamza wasn't stealing for himself, they said. He was stealing for the people. The rumors were specific. $280 million. donated to Palestinian charities, donated to NGOs in Africa. Why did people believe this? Because it fits a story we all want to believe. The banks are seen as the villains. So when a young man from Algeria stands up and robs the great Satans of global finance, he becomes an instant icon. But was it true? The FBI and forensic accountants dug into Hamza's life. They didn't find receipts for charity donations. They found receipts for something else. They found first-class tickets on Emirates and Qatar Airways. They found bookings at five-star hotels in Malaysia and Thailand. They found luxury car rentals. They found a life of absolute hedonism. Hamza wasn't living in a cave. He was jet-setting across Southeast Asia, living like a king. However, the Robin Hood theory isn't completely dead. On the dark web forums, Hamza was known for being generous to other hackers. And there is the possibility of the Hawala system. It is entirely possible that Hamza did send money home. But $280 million? That number is likely a myth. The liquid cash stolen was likely in the tens of millions. Still a fortune. Still enough to change thousands of lives. But the legend was more powerful than the truth. They saw a young Arab man who had mastered the white man's technology and used it against him. They saw a genius who had outsmarted the FBI, the CIA, and Interpol. And Hamza loved the attention. In chat logs recovered by the FBI, he bragged, "I can drain a bank account in 10 seconds. I am untouchable." He felt invincible. But he made one fatal mistake. He got greedy. The walls are closing in. We are approaching the climax of this investigation. If you are hooked on this deep dive, make sure you are subscribed. Hamza felt untouchable. But in the world of high-stakes cybercrime, one slip-up is all it takes.
Mastermind is in Atlanta to face justice for stealing millions of dollars and infecting millions of computers. Investigators captured the accused hacker in Thailand. They brought him to Atlanta, where they say a local server controlled the hacked computers.
The FBI had been hunting BX1 for 3 years. He was a ghost. They knew his handle, they knew his software, but they didn't know his name. Until Hamza decided to make a sale. He was looking to sell a copy of SpyEye to a fellow spammer on the dark web. The price was $8,500. For Hamza, this was pocket change.
He had millions.
Why risk it for $8,500? Because criminals always get comfortable. The buyer wasn't a spammer. The buyer was an undercover FBI agent. They negotiated. Hamza, confident and arrogant, wanted to prove the software worked. He communicated directly. He left digital fingerprints. He exposed his server IP address. The FBI traced the signal. It didn't lead to a proxy in Russia. It led to an IP address in Atlanta, Georgia, which was routing traffic back to Algeria. They had him. But they couldn't arrest him in Algeria. They had to wait for him to move. And Hamza loved to travel. In January 2013, Hamza booked a trip, Malaysia to Egypt, with a stopover in Bangkok.
I can't believe I'm doing this. Malaysia, Bangkok, Egypt.
It's gonna be amazing.
The trap was set. When Hamza's plane touched down in Bangkok, he had no idea that his life was over. He walked off the jet bridge. He went through immigration. And then, the moment of the arrest. When the police searched his bag, they found his laptop, a satellite phone. If Hamza was a paranoid criminal, those drives would have been encrypted. But Hamza was surprised. The laptop was open. The chats were logged. The evidence was all there. The Thai police held a press conference. They paraded the criminal in front of the media. And Hamza smiled. It wasn't a smile of regret. It was a smile of defiance. When a reporter asked what he did with the money, he didn't say, "I gave it to the poor." He reportedly laughed and said, "I spent it on a luxurious life and traveling." But the world didn't hear that. The world saw the photo. The world saw the smile. Save Hamza trended on Twitter. Free the Hero appeared on Facebook. People believed he was going to be executed for stealing from the rich. The hysteria was massive. The U.S. ambassador had to issue a statement. Computer crimes are not capital crimes. There is no death penalty. But the truth didn't matter. Hamza was a martyr now. The smile had faded. The cameras were gone. Now it was just Hamza, a federal judge, and the consequences of a billion-dollar crime spree.
But Sally Yates says the FBI used new weapons to take down Bendelladj, cyber tools so sophisticated she won't detail what they are. The allegations are true, one of the biggest cyber crime targets ever taken down?
Yeah, and it's one of the most sophisticated schemes as well. You know, there are a lot of hackers out there, but these guys were good.
The trial was quiet. Hamza Bendelladj, the man who controlled 200,000 computers, stood before a judge. He pleaded guilty. He didn't fight. He didn't give a speech. He admitted to the crimes. On April 20th, 2016, the gavel fell. 15 years in federal prison. So, what is the legacy of Hamza Bendelladj? To the cybersecurity world, he is a warning. He showed us that one man with a laptop can do more damage than a bank robber with a machine gun. But to his fans, he remains the happy hacker, the man who beat the system. Free Hamza. He stole from the thieves. A hero. Did he really donate millions? Probably not. Did he steal from innocent people? Absolutely. When SpyEye drains a bank account, it's often a regular person's savings that disappear first. But the idea of Hamza Bendelladj is more powerful than the man himself. In a world where the gap between the rich and the poor grows every day, people are desperate for a hero, even if that hero is a villain. Hamza Bendelladj looked at the camera and smiled because he knew something we didn't. He knew that he had already become a legend, and you can't lock up a legend.
What do you think? Was Hamza a modern Robin Hood, or just a greedy criminal with a great smile? Let me know in the comments below.
If you enjoyed this deep dive, please like this video and subscribe. Stay safe, watch your passwords, and I'll see you in the next one.